Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, today I actually wanted to just speak about something that I wish I was able to listen to before I got into this whole game of like making money online and doing that full time. So, it's been about a year now, and for that whole time, I have made a full time income, alhamdulillah, supported my family, purely just through making money online. And now it's very normal to me. It's normal to me because I live it every single day. But it's not normal to the person who's still working the 9 to 5 like I was over a year ago. And I remember watching those videos come online on YouTube, and I just wanted to understand how these people actually live their lives. How does it feel not having to go to work? And there are a few things I wanted to touch light upon, mainly just as a way to just give you some motivation to actually take a step and actually give some insight on what it's actually like doing nothing but making money online. As in, I don't ever have to go into any office ever again, inshallah, by Allah's tawfiq. I make my money fully online without having to go and be tied down to any location, without having to work for someone I hate working for. I get to do this. This is from Allah Azza wa Jal, but I get to do this because I chose a specific vehicle called high ticket sales. Like, that was the vehicle that I chose to make money online. This video is not so much to do with high ticket sales. It's more so about the lifestyle, right? And the reason I'm smiling is because there were so many pain points that I had. And the first one I wanted to speak about is just the Sunday dread, right? You know what I'm talking about right now, because you probably work at 9 to 5, you probably get the weekends off, and you know what that feeling feels like. Around 6, 7 p.m. on a Sunday, there's that inner dread inside of you. You start to think about, oh, I have to get up early in the morning. I have to hit that traffic jam that is waiting there for me inevitably. Like, that will be there. You know, anything can happen. That is going to be there. And then you start thinking about all the projects you've got at work. You know, I used to work as a network engineer. And I just remember thinking, oh, another week of doing a lot of things I genuinely don't care about. I have no interest in what I'm doing right now. And it's just another day in the rat race. And I remember that specifically that Sunday evening feeling. Genuine depression. Like, that's how it felt. And through the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal, through the ni'mah of Allah, through Allah blessing me with this opportunity, I have forgotten what that feels like to some degree. I remember it, but I haven't fully forgotten what it felt like. But you know when you haven't experienced something in such a long time that you start to feel like, wait, what was that actually like? I have hints of it. But I remember how much I hated it. I remember that. And subhanAllah, just being able to make money online and do this full time. Like, I take my laptop and I can go anywhere in the world, right? I've been to trips to Bosnia. Alhamdulillah, I've been able to do Umrah. I've been able to, I'm trying to think if I've been anywhere else abroad. Okay, you know what, subhanAllah, I don't think I've actually traveled that much. It's something I need to do more of, but I've been to Bosnia, I did a skiing trip. I also went to Jeddah and did Umrah and things like that. The point being is this, is if tomorrow I decided to go to Mexico, I can go. And my income is not going to stop. Do you know how liberating that is? Like, I genuinely don't think people realize how much of a superpower that actually is. Such a big blessing. Like, it's such a big blessing for you to be able to go anywhere in the world, and your rizq does not stop, right? I remember dreaming about this. Genuinely, I remember sat down in my office working and just dreaming about a day where, you know, Ya Allah, if there's, like, I just want to be able to work on my own terms. I don't want to have to go into any office. I don't want to have to work with no Karen. I don't want to have to work with people who I don't want to work with and do things I don't care about doing. And honestly, you know, one of the things that I often notice now is, before, when I was working a 9 to 5, I would know exactly what day it is all the time. These days, I genuinely don't know what day it is. I often forget because right now I only have one day off, right? I run a sales team on a big, alhamdulillah, Muslim offer, and I have one day off. So I still work. In fact, I would say I work more than I would when I was working a 9 to 5, but it feels like less and it's so much more enjoyable. I only have one day off. And that's, weirdly enough, that's a Wednesday, right? And I actually love it because if I want to go somewhere on the Wednesday, it's pretty chill and calm because, not every man and his dog is there because it's not a weekend. But I genuinely forget what day it is. I don't know the difference between a Friday and a Sunday. I don't know the difference between a Tuesday and a Thursday. Like, I don't remember. I don't have a reason to remember. Whereas when I was working a 9 to 5, there was so much pain associated with that Monday coming that I just knew every day. I would look forward to Friday. Yes, let's go. Like everybody knows, right? And it's like, subhanallah, not having to feel that frustration, that in and of itself is such a big blessing that I just take for granted these days. I wake up, right? My office is down here. I sleep upstairs and I wake up. I know I've got another day of work. I get ready. I do what I need to do and I just jump downstairs. And it's just normal to me now. But I remember how much I wanted that when I didn't have it. Subhanallah. And I'll tell you this actually, for those of you who still don't have that, it's been over like a year, something like that, right? And honestly, although I do forget about it, when I remind myself, I am so grateful. Like I don't take this for granted, even though in a way I forget about it. But then when I remind myself, oh my God, subhanallah, like I'm still so grateful for the fact that, I was just checking if that was gone. I'm still so grateful for the fact that I can do this, right? Because not many people do. In fact, very few people will actually be able to do this. Probably will never be able to do this. And it's just such a blessing, subhanallah, right? That Sunday dread, I don't feel. I don't remember what day it is, right? If I need to go somewhere during the day, it's just so normal for me now. I can just go. If I need to go to a doctor's appointment, if I need to go and pick something up, if I need to go and run and chase some groceries, if I need to go to salah, right? This is something that I've been trying to improve, is just going to the masjid more, because I can now just go for every dhuhr salah, right? If I'm not lazy, I have the ability to be able to go. I couldn't do that in a 9 to 5. What a blessing. Subhanallah, what a blessing. Like, I think about these things and I'm like, how many people will be able to achieve that? How many people want that and how many people get it? And the thing is it's there for the taking, right? Like you have to ask Allah and take the necessary actions and you will get it. But man, subhanallah, these small things are such a blessing. And you know what the biggest thing is the difference I've noticed in my level of satisfaction on a day-to-day basis is so huge. Oh my God, man. It's so huge. I used to hate 80% of days when I worked a 9 to 5. And now I don't have that hatred for days because I'm actually genuinely working on things that I find meaningful and I feel like my progression is in line with the amount of work that I put in, right? And that in and of itself it's such a mindset shift. I don't believe humans were made to work in comfort. This is my opinion. I have always found that with pressure and like pressure on the lower side and then on the upside, you being able to completely change your life, that is the recipe for success and feeling fulfillment. I feel like men especially, we were made to conquer and go out and like go out on conquests and achieve things which are so big that it gives you a big reason to get up in the morning and feel like you need to do hard things if you ever want a chance to achieve those things. And a 9 to 5 is the absolute exact opposite of that. You are depressed, you hate what you're doing, but it's comfortable enough because it pays your bills. And you know that if you don't pay your bills, that will get very uncomfortable. And so you take 40 hours a week of you giving most of your energy to something that you don't care about because it pays your bills and it keeps you comfortable. But what that also does at the same time is literally take your potential away of ever doing anything great. And that's why I made that change. Like I remember, I didn't even have an offer lined up. It was purely from Allah Azza wa Jal, because I was like, I know that if I actually want to make this work, I'm going to have to quit my 9 to 5. right? And honestly, like I'm just flowing here with the thoughts that I have. I just wanted to know what it was like to leave that life. And if this video is some level of motivation for you to get up and actually make a change, if you hate what you do, if you work security, if you work construction, if you work doing Uber, if you work doing Just Eat, if you work, a 9 to 5, if you're a corporate person, if you're a lawyer, doctor, whatever it may be, if you hate waking up every single day and needing to do what you do, I promise you there's actually a different option out there. And I'm not one of those people who's like, find what you're passionate about and do what you're passionate about. I hate that advice. But what I am passionate about is success, right? And I think that I want to be as successful as I possibly can. I don't care what it's in. I might have some preferences, but my goal is to be as successful as I possibly can for certain reasons. Like, that's not my end goal. I have other goals that drive me. But my point is this, is there is a world out there where you can get up and genuinely feel motivated every single day to go out there and work your hardest. You're just not working on the right thing. If you don't feel like that, you're not working on the right thing. You're probably working in a 9 to 5 where your effort directly benefits your employer, but it does not benefit you. And so therefore, your effort level is not correlated with your reward system. You are not reinforced for wanting to work hard. I'll admit this, right? And I'm not proudly admitting this, but I don't think I worked that hard when I was at 9 to 5, because I just didn't feel like, why should I? There were certain days where I did, but slowly the decline kind of happened when I was very new and young, and I was like 21 and I got the graduate job, and I was like, okay, I have to really impress these people, and I would work really hard. And then afterwards I'm getting 5%, 10% raise year on year. It's now been 4, 5, 6 years. What is the point? Where am I going? I'm still basically making the same amount of money. My life literally has not changed. And I am so blessed that I can actually record a video like this where I'm sat at my house, right, with my desk set up, right? You can't see behind the camera, but I've just got my laptop, I've got my monitor, I've got a few lamps, and I make money from here. And if I decided to tomorrow, I could drive up to Scotland and make money from there. And if I was feeling really ambitious, I could take a flight and book a one-way flight to do Umrah and stay there for the next month. And I can do that. And literally I can do that. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. And I want to share this with you guys, not as a way to boast and just rub salt in your wounds if you are in that situation. In fact, you know what? If rubbing salt in your wounds is going to get you to make a change, then yes, I'll pour the whole salt mixer and yeah. Because the thing is, pain is the biggest driver. Pain is the biggest motivator for you to change your situation. I had enough pain at that point where I wanted to make a change, and I did, right? So if watching videos like this I hope it accomplishes two things. Number one, it helps you understand and brings you more awareness of your situation and how much you hate it. If you do. If you don't hate it, this video is not for you. If you love what you do on a day-to-day basis and you work a 9 to 5 and it's genuinely fulfilling for you and it accomplishes everything you want in life, alhamdulillah, you've won. Good for you. May Allah increase you, and this video is not for you. But if you know that you were meant for something bigger, if you genuinely wake up every single day and being like, what am I doing here? I feel this is meaningless. I'm not going to improve if I continue doing what I'm doing. If you are not also happy with your lifestyle, this is a huge topic, which is for another video. I don't understand why people don't do this, which is optimizing for lifestyle. People will talk about make a load of money from your 9 to 5 and then start investing, in property and all of this kind of stuff. But if you hate the life that you live, why on earth are you investing? You should invest in yourself to get the skills to be able to change the life that you have. And you know what? Alhamdulillah, I can say this because that's exactly what I did. I had to invest in myself to get the skills to be able to live this life right now, right? I didn't get it for free. I had to pay thousands, right? To actually join a program, to learn the skills, and then get the opportunities to be able to have a full-time offer where I can do this now. Alhamdulillah. Honestly, alhamdulillah. this video was genuinely me venting and just kind of like expressing my thoughts, because I think that not enough people are told that there is a different option out there. I know you'll see a lot of ads these days, like make 10K a month. Like, I'm not even talking about that, okay? Forget the 10K a month, forget that. Just know that it is very much within your grasp to make the money that you're making in your 9 to 5 or in the job that you're making, and doing that full-time online. And that in and of itself will probably increase your level of satisfaction in life by 5, 10x. All of the things that you probably hate about your life right now, if you was to just make money online remotely, that in and of itself would fix so many of your problems, right? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Just even me saying that out loud, I know how much I dreamt for it, like when I didn't have it. I just wanted to be able to take a laptop. I'd see these digital nomads and all these people. I'm like, bro, why can't I live this life? And now I'm one of those guys. I can live that life, alhamdulillah. I can take care of my family. I can go where I need to go. And that is such a big blessing. And it came from hard work. It came from hard work, no doubt. It came from taking risks. It came from investing in myself. And it came from accepting uncertainty, right? If you want to achieve something which most people won't or don't, you have to be willing to make trade-offs. One of those trade-offs that I made was uncertainty. Like, I didn't know if this was going to work. I took a massive gamble, right? I remember having people literally telling me what I was doing was crazy, leaving my job. But that's the path. Like, if you want a different outcome, you're going to have to make different decisions. And the decisions that I took was looking at people who were closer to my goals rather than closer to me. Because I didn't know anybody in my physical social circle who, other than maybe one person, but he was in a very different field and crushing it, Allahumma barik. But like, in doing what I wanted to do, I didn't know anybody around me. And so I really just had to ask Allah and take a big leap. But the thing is like, think about what I'm even saying right now. Our grandparents and our fathers and forefathers and whatnot, they would leave their homes and go to war, and the risk that they were taking was, I may die and my children will maybe grow up fatherless, but I will do this because it is worth it, right? It is a big enough cause. That was the risk, the uncertainty they had to take. So just ask yourself the question, bro. Like, this is how I actually took that decision. This was one of the fundamental questions that I came back to, which was like, really, you really can't make this decision because you're too worried, what if it doesn't work? When probably your great-grandfather and his father had to make a decision to maybe leave their homes and never come back. Like, that's really what you're comparing this to. And it just made it so easy for me to make that decision. And I'm not saying it was easy, but it made it easier. It made it so much more easier for me to make that decision, because I was like, how can I call myself a grown man who wants to achieve these big things in life, who wants to be the one who's going to change my family situation forever, yet I'm not willing to take a risk? Look at anybody successful. Everybody successful has taken a risk, which was very difficult. And in fact, I would say the more success that you get or that you want to have, you have to take bigger risks. Like it's proportionate, oftentimes. Now, what happens is this, though. I will speak upon this, which is, I think that the absolute hardest place to go from is to leave the 9 to 5 mindset and to go from there to making that decision to full-time commit to something else. The other path, the entrepreneurial path, the make money online path, like all of this kind of stuff, the different path, that's the biggest difficulty, because you haven't had proof of concept yet, right? Now, some people, they maybe started their own thing online and they kind of saw success and then they kind of transitioned very cleanly. So it was like, okay, when I was making enough money from my business, that's when I then quit my job. But for me, I didn't have that. I went from black to white. Like, I went from 9 to 5 to not having a 9 to 5 and having to now make it work. And that was really difficult. That was difficult. That was not easy. But now that I have, alhamdulillah, seen a small level of success, and the proof of concept has been going for the last year now, my belief system has completely changed. And the people who have been around now, like, there is so much potential. Ikhwa, like boys, I want you to, if there's one thing you take away from this video, is everything you want in life, you can achieve by Allah's permission. You think, I remember I used to think that making 15k a month was something that was like just impossible, like 30, 40k a month. I remember, I remember the first time I learned that somebody who I knew, like kind of who I had met on this journey because I joined this course, was making like 30, 40k a month. And I just remember I wouldn't accept it. Like my brain was not accepting it. I was like, what are you talking about? And the person is just like a normal human being. And now it's like so stupid. Now it seems so like my bar is, now it's so different in terms of what I believe is possible. And I'm speaking to me a year ago. I'm speaking to that same person who has never come across somebody who's making 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100k a month. I know you don't even really fully believe that it's possible. I know you don't. You probably look at all these people and go, okay, it's all a scam. And there are some scams out there. But I know your brain can't compute it. But I'm putting these videos out there because until you don't try, you will never know. Until you don't stop listening to the people around you who've never achieved what you want to achieve, until you don't come up with your own conclusions, you will never achieve anything. And so look at the people who are maybe living the life that you want to live, right? And emulate their actions. Take the same paths that they did. Because you listening to the people who have never achieved what you have and telling you that all of these things are a scam and you'll never be able to do this and that and whatnot, they by definition don't know what it means. They don't know what it takes because they are not living that life. And so if I'm one step ahead of some of you watching this, just take the lessons from what I'm sharing if you find it useful to go upon that journey, right? And by no means am I saying I am some successful individual. Absolutely not. Like, absolutely not. I have so much things to achieve, so many things to achieve. But compared to 1 year ago, I'm way more successful, alhamdulillah. And I mean that, even like, just take everything out of it, take the money, all of it out of it, just look at the lifestyle. My life satisfaction has increased so much because I took a risk. My day to day, I don't hate my life anymore. I don't hate waking up. I don't have to, I don't have to get up in the morning and drive to some office. I remember it used to take me about 40 minutes to get there. And then I'd sit down and then I'd make a cup of tea and then I'd always have this thing where I don't know why I just could not focus in the mornings. And so for the first hour or two, I barely even do any work because I couldn't even get into the right mode. And all of the work was just meaningless to me anyways. SubhanAllah, how things change. And it comes from taking risks and looking at people who have the outcome that you want and then just emulating their actions and putting your trust in Allah. Life is so much more different than it was. And this is one thing I will hands down say now, is by Allah's permission, Ya Rab, make it easy for me to continue to stay on this path and come closer to you. But I will never, by Allah's permission, ever, I can never work a 9 to 5 again. I would feel sick. I would be sick. The thought of that makes me sick. Right? Now, let's say these opportunities all left and I had to work a 9 to 5. Sure, like if I absolutely had to make ends meet, I would be willing to do whatever it took. But my whole goal would be as fast as possible, how do I get back to that life? That's how different it is. And if there's one message that you take away, and I mentioned this before, I guess if there's two messages you take away, is genuinely with hard work, with taking a bit of a risk, and being willing to take a different path from the average person, you can achieve absolutely every single thing that you dream of today, by Allah's permission, right? Have I achieved all of those things? Absolutely not. But I have achieved so much of what I wanted, and it all came from that. And so time is ticking. Make changes. Genuinely, just don't delay this, because it doesn't get easier the longer you wait. And it's so worth it, subhanAllah. Like there's so much, I'm so grateful I took that leap. And I don't even know if the future is going to work, but I have so much belief that through taking risks, taking massive action, having a bit of pressure, right? Being hopeful of the future, being close to Allah, right? Asking Allah Azza wa Jal for help, how can you fail? How can you fail? Go out there and get what you want out of life. It's not going to be easy. If it was, everybody would do it. Men were made to face difficult things, right? Your character will build with the more stress and the more problems that you solve. The more stress that you face and the more problems that you solve, and just put your intention in the right place. I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, because I will be able to get closer to Allah. I'll be able to make hijrah. And these are things that I look for now, inshallah, right? Like these are my next goals. Like I can make hijrah right now. There are just some logistical things as to why I'm still in the UK, but inshallah, very soon, like these are the things that I'm working towards. And I can do that. Like I can literally do that right now. And that is such a blessing, because most people will not even be able to know what that feels like. They don't even have the hope that there is another world out there. They just believe it's a scam. And honestly, this may sound really harsh, but for those of you that don't have the open-mindedness to actually be curious enough to actually try it, people like me will benefit from your mindset. Because if you believe it's all a scam, you'll never try, which means it's less competition for everybody else. Right? So I would really like challenge all of you, if you're listening to this video and you've not ever made any money online and you're just thinking like, yo, this is probably all a scam, this guy's a scam. Maybe I am, right? But you're a whole grown man, right? You're going to live, inshallah ta'ala, you're going to live a long life. May Allah protect you, may Allah increase you. Go out there, have some courage to try something. Try something. Genuinely give it your everything. Don't just try it like it's a little dish that you're trying and like a little taster. No. Apply yourself to something fully. Look at the people who are living the life that you're living, right? They may all be scams. Investigate it. Genuinely try. Go out there, seek knowledge about that thing, right? Look for what is halal, obviously. And put your absolute everything in it. At that point, you can say it was a scam, it doesn't work, etc., etc. But if you have not done that, don't blame anybody else when 5-10 years down the line, you're in the same situation, hating your life and hating what you do. That's on you, right? And just as a hopeful message, genuinely, it does not take long to change your life. By Allah's permission, I am so much happier doing what I do today, and I would not have that if I did not take a risk. And that's why I'm such a big proponent. I usually tell people to take aggressive risk, especially when you're a young man. Like genuinely, bro, like there are people back home countries who, if they were given this much of what you have, they would go crazy. You have so much potential. You're a grown man, right? Go out there, grab life by the horns, and make your intention that you're going to get closer to Allah. Take big risks, take big action. Time is not stopping for anybody. And you will, just 6 months from now, you will thank yourself. Big time. Right? It's dragging on. I'm going to leave it there, inshallah. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.